On November 6, 2025, two Russian Su-34 bombers roared out of Morozovsk, targeting Ukraine's vital energy hubs in Kryvyi Rih and Dnipropetrovsk. Within seconds, Ukrainian radars flared to life, locking on to the approaching aircraft. In just 14 minutes, Patriot and IRIS-T batteries came online, their systems primed for engagement. Across command centers, data surged and decisions collided in real time. Every second mattered. Every signal carried consequence. Could Ukraine's precision and resolve outmaneuver Russia's calculated strike? Or would a single misstep decide the fate of this electrified confrontation? 8:42 a.m., November 6, 2025. Light fog still clung to the runway, taxiway lights slicing silver through the mist. At Morozovsk Air Base, Rostov Oblast, two Su-34s rolled off the line. Cockpit clocks blinked. Technicians traded clipped checks. We're airborne, altitude rising, heading east. Both engines thundered. A short flight, but a decisive one. These two Su-34s were not configured for air-to-air supremacy. They carried a strike load of two KAB-500 guided bombs weighing 1,102 pounds each, with a strike range of about 43.5 miles, guided by satellite or laser. They carried R-73 short-range air-to-air missiles for self-defense, with infrared seekers and a range of about 18.6 miles. Each jet also sported a PTB-3000 drop tank holding 792.5 gallons, extending the Su-34's ferry range to roughly 1,243 miles. Those figures add up to a punch capable of making any energy cluster tremble. Their targets, the power hubs at Kryvyi Rih and Dnipropetrovsk, the choke points that feed millions and keep military logistics turning. Tons of explosives, dozens of substations, transmission lines, enough to force a simple question. If they hit, how many cities will go dark? How many hospitals will be forced to shut down? 8:50 a.m., November 6, 2025. 8 minutes after the two Su-34s lifted from Morozovsk, an odd blip appeared on the regional warning display near Donetsk. A ground warning post, the mobile 3D radar 80K6M, logged two high-speed tracks moving southwest. The flight map painted them plainly. Bogies at bearing 274, climb. The alert was pushed immediately to the campaign control node. Not a single sensor alone. Over the next 2 minutes, feeds from auxiliary sites, a 36D6M 1-13D scan array among them, filled in the picture, confirming altitude and speed. The system sketched a crude track, two aircraft driving deep west, bearing straight for the energy clusters at Kryvyi Rih and Dnipropetrovsk. 0853. A decision in the control room. Do not run radars in continuous emission. Stations switch to ping scans. Fire long enough to verify, then go quiet to reduce the risk of geolocation. A risky tactic, but necessary to preserve the sensor web without handing away station coordinates. Comms carried at least 5 channels of intelligence: radar plots, observer reports, commercial satellite imagery, and local radio. In 10 minutes, a rapid plan was set. Preliminarily lock the route, move 2 air defense batteries into gateway positions, and prepare a proactive ambush. By 8:56, 2 batteries were emplaced, one near Dnipro, one at Zaporizhzhia, chosen as the approach gateways to Kryvyi Rih. The batteries fielded modern air defenses. Patriot PAC-3 batteries with AN/MPQ-65 fire control radars and a hit-to-kill interceptor warhead, designed to neutralize high-speed targets, paired with IRIS, TSLM, medium-range systems integrated with mobile radars like the HENSOL, DTTRML, 4D, and electro-optical/radar seeker warheads. Both systems offered rapid reaction, multi-target tracking, and mobility over open terrain. 9:02. Everything stood on hold. On the control room screens, the Su-34 tracks sat roughly 56 miles from the batteries. The countdown clock was synchronized. Each radar ping provided another data point to compute the optimal engagement window. Soldiers held their breath. The commander mouthed the wait order. Do not rush, do not reveal. In the Su-34 cockpits, the crews still read a safe corridor. They trusted the plotted route. Their displays showed nothing unusual. But on the ground, the posture had shifted from passive tracking to a set ambush. From first contact at 8:50 to target lock readiness at 9:04, only 14 minutes passed. 14 minutes to fuse 80 K6 telemetry, Patriot snapshot scans, and to mobilize forces at Dnipro and Zaporizhzhia. That tally, 14 minutes, at least 5 data channels, 2 batteries in place, turned a lightning incursion into a baited trap, waiting for the decisive moment. If you believe Ukraine's fight deserves to be told with truth and power, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. 9:04 a.m., November 6, 2025. Patriot and IRIS-T SLM systems snap into ready status. 9:06, countdown begins. In the control room, numbers fall across the display. 60, 45, 30. 30 seconds to engage. Weapons hot. 9:07. In the command center, the voice is calm but hard. Engage. Track all. Launch order. From both gateways, 8 interceptors surge from their tubes. 4 from Dnipro, 4 from Zaporizhzhia. Streaking upward like burning spears, vapor trails slicing the mist. In the cockpits, pilots watch small symbols shift on their HUDs. Missiles locked on. Sirens wail, warning tones click. Pilots pull hard, releasing flares and chaff, decoys of heat and reflection to fool the infrared seekers. They weave, climb, dive, fighting to shake the locks. One pilot calls back to base. We have active tracking signals, source unknown. RWR beeping non-stop. Flares deployed, possible ambush. Position, corridor between Dnipro and Zaporizhzhia. Request vector, over. The reply comes cold, steady through the headset. Continue mission, do not return, stay on course. Complete objective, report later. Copy? 9:09. The sky erupts. The lead Su-34 takes a direct hit. A fireball engulfs the airframe, shards of metal raining across open fields. The second jet, tail struck, spins out of control, twisting like a falling stone before crashing near the outskirts of Zaporizhzhia. Silence fills the Russian command center. No more countdowns, only static, labored breaths and unanswered radio calls. The calculations made in those 14 minutes now burn across the sky as black smoke. Ukraine's ambush is complete, 2 aircraft neutralized, 1 vaporized midair, the other broken on the ground. 9:12 a.m., November 6, 2025. The sky above central Ukraine still trembled after those frantic minutes. Reports spread rapidly. 2 Russian Su-34s had been intercepted mid-mission. 1 destroyed, the other limping back across the border. Their deep strike plan on the Kryvyi Rih-Dnipropetrovsk energy corridor collapsed in real time. Within hours, the shockwaves rippled through every layer of the conflict. On the military front, all long-range sorties were suspended. 12 deep strike missions scheduled over the next 48 hours were delayed as command units recalibrated risk protocols. Air crews revised pre-flight procedures, doubled escort coverage, and extended radar masking time. The loss of a single bomber crippled coordination for several squadrons. Logistics convoys stood by as analysts reconstructed radar timelines to determine how Ukraine's air defense network had predicted the approach so precisely. On the ground, air raid sirens echoed across Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia. Thousands of residents near debris zones were ordered to evacuate. Emergency teams swept farmland for wreckage and unexploded ordnance. Hospitals shifted to generator power, transferring over 100 critical patients. Civil defense units restored power lines, recalibrated transformers, and checked pipelines for secondary damage. By evening, nearly 5,000 civilians had been temporarily displaced. In Kiev's command centers, screens replayed radar traces in endless loops. Analysts noted that both 80 K6 and 36 D6M1-1 early warning radars had tracked the Su-34s from the moment they crossed Kursk airspace. Data relays from the Patriot and IRIS-T batteries formed overlapping kill boxes, 5 data channels converging within 14 minutes. The ambush wasn't coincidence, it was a proof of concept in sensor fusion. Politically and diplomatically, the interception echoed far beyond the battlefield. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session. Western capitals praised Ukraine's restraint in avoiding overfire. Others warned of escalation. Energy futures spiked overnight as markets reacted to the aborted strike. Global headlines called it a turning point in algorithmic warfare. Yet the strategic lesson was colder. Speed and perception now dictate survival. Every radar ping, every half-second delay can define victory or restraint. Commanders faced impossible equations: fire and risk civilian fallout, or hold and risk the target escaping. The decisions were technical, political, and moral at once. By nightfall, the region exhaled under a fragile calm. Civilians returned home. Hospitals stabilized. The military remained on silent alert. The intercepted Su-34 mission was over, but its implications had just begun. In a war where sensors replace scouts and milliseconds replace distance, power is measured not by weapons fired, but by choices made. And when each decision carries the weight of cities, what then is the true cost of one command? The conclusion is not a verdict of right or wrong. It is a reminder that decisions made in minutes can decide lives and strategic balances. Leave this story with one hard question. When sensors and speed drive every move, do we have the responsibility to weigh the humanitarian consequences before we press the button, and to think long-term? See you.